Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Cindy Thompson.
I'm Monica Height.
And I'm Chelsea Duff. And welcome to our first episode of Pride for the Year.
Pride.
Hey guys.
Pride. Oh.
A month where this podcast is dedicated to just being gay. We don't do that every week of the year. No. It's only special this month.
This is when we're at our strongest and our fiercest, honey.
Lay, mama.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I felt good about that yet. I'll have to think on it and get back to you.
That was...
Listeners,
I just revealed the back
about that, actually. Let us know.
Yeah, actually, you let us know if that was good or bad.
Could this be Chelsea's new tagline?
Maybe. I was
We've
really
been
Slay Mama for a minute, but...
Slay Mama.
Mm-hmm.
That was really special.
Thanks. Well, it's special for a good reason. Not only are we doing Pride this year, it is a special kind of Pride because it is from the Fates. The Fates gave us this. It came to me in a dream. I woke up one morning with a dream that we were doing Trans Pride on the pod this month, and we said, let's make that a reality. So not only are we doing regular Pride, we are doing Trans Pride specifically this year.
Also, because this is Trans Pride Month, we are going to put our money where our mouth is. All of our proceeds from this month that we make through the podcast, through our ad revenue, through our Patreon, we will be donating that to trans organizations that are helping trans people everywhere. And we also want you to join us. Specifically, we'll be raising funds for Transgender Law Center through our Instagram account. They have that little fundraiser doohickey that just shows on your profile. We'll have it up all month long. We'll have stories about it. We'll have a grid post about it, so you can find out how you can donate as well. But if you haven't heard of Transgender Law Center, it's a trans-led organization with a variety of programs advocating for trans people to be able to freely live their lives as who they are. One aspect of their work is their impact litigation, which focuses primarily on combating anti-trans laws and policies in the United States. I mean, you guys know it's fucking awful out there right now, and the government seems to be targeting trans folks. So we want to do what we can to help out the trans community, with whatever monetary thing we can give. So please join us if you are able. No worries if you're not. I know it's hard out there right now. It's a recession, but we would love to have you join us in, helping out the trans community. So go to our Instagram. Spooky_Tuesday. Check it out, girl.
But we are doing movies this month all with trans characters or trans actors or trans themes. And we are starting
trans directors
with last year's or trans directors. We are starting with last year's Queens of the Dead from Tina Romero, with a incredibly diverse cast, lots of trans actors, lots of trans characters in the movie, and also just like an incredible romp. So we all saw it in theaters together last year. It was so much fun. We knew immediately it was going to be on our Pride lineup, and thankfully it worked with the theme that the gods gave us in our dreams. So if you haven't seen it, I will tell you the IMDb logline. It reads, drag queens and club kids battle zombies craving brains during a zombie outbreak at their drag show in Brooklyn, putting personal conflicts aside to utilize their distinct abilities against the undead threat. And I think I said the word outbreak like a little weird, but you guys got it.
I like how you
gist,
said
I
it.
think, right?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good way for it to have been said. Yeah.
This is a zombie movie that I
so
actually
sweet.
like.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's like the funniest kind of zombies I've probably ever seen. The way they do the zombie makeup in this movie is so fucking gay. Like, of course, they're like glitter, like beat to the gods zombies.
Shiny, silver, beautiful, or
Shiny.
They're
maybe
Bushwick
green. They
zombies,
looked green
okay?
in the behind the
Yeah,
scenes stuff I
they're
saw, but they looked
green
silver on
for
screen to
sure.
me.
They're green. On my screen, they look greeny silver, like a metallic
Okay.
green. Like not super pigmented, but they're doing
Yeah.
like a
And
soft, subtle green,
And they're real
yes, and
stiff.
Tina Romero, the director, writer director, she had a co-writer, but writer director Tina Romero, daughter of George A. Romero, who did Night of the Living Dead, but also Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, said that part of her zombie design was inspired by the Dawn of the Dead zombies that are just like painted green. So I think probably sparkly green, but make them fierce and fabulous is kind of the gist.
100%. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so have you seen any George A. Romero?
No. And as I
Uh,
was watching this earlier, I was like, I should watch Night of the Living Dead. And I watched one clip and then I went, actually, I don't have time to watch a full trilogy and then rewatch Queens of the Dead. But I will just let you be our expert this episode on that.
well, I
Yeah,
can
because you
only
know how I
be
feel about
a
zombie
partial
movies.
expert. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's hard. It's hard. Sometimes they suck real, real bad, and sometimes they're the best movie ever, and sometimes there's Night of the Living Dead, which like launched 1,000 ships. You know what I mean? Like
He's like the
Night
father
of
of the genre, George A. Romero.
yeah, and it's like we've talked about this on the pod before, but it's like a complicated story. Is like George A. Romero, and then also don't want to get this wrong. It was co-written with John Russo, and then they had like a fight, and then they split off, and there was the Dawn of the Dead series with George, and then John Russo did our beloved Return of the Living Dead. So very different vibes, but I fucking love Return of the Living Dead. Much sillier, much sillier. A la this movie, honestly. I feel like Tina is pulling maybe a little bit from her dad's old homie too with this one. But Night of the Living Dead, if you haven't seen it, like it's really special. It's really, really special. There's old movies that are touted and touted, and I watch them and I'm like, okay, like I get that this probably like blew people's minds at the time. But like with a modern eye, it's like you can respect it for sure, but it's not blowing my mind in the same way. I feel like Night of the Living Dead, I've tried watching it a couple of times and, it wasn't grabbing me right at the beginning. And then I watched it for my friend's podcast, my friend Kyle. And we had a really great conversation because it's so scary. It's so unsettling with like so little done, and it's black and white, but it's talking about so much. It's political. It's talking about like specifically like treatment of black people in the 60s, the civil rights movement. Like it's not like directly being like, and in the civil rights movement, but like, that's what it's all alluding to. It's steeped in a lot more meaning, like many zombie movies are, but that one is really making a political statement. And so it doesn't surprise me that Tina is like taking this similar, not similar really story, but like zombie story and politicizing it for queer folks in our modern day. That's not really a departure from like the original intent of her father's film. So I love that. And I love that she did this. I just think it's so funny. It's like a silly movie in a lot of ways because it's just like there's a lot of silly stuff. I don't think it always goes like adds up one to one to one equaling any number, you know what I mean? But like it's not about that, it's about the feeling. And it has such a fun cast of characters, and I think it really like I don't know, I'm not a queer person in New York, so I can't speak to that experience. I really wish that I could. I've only just been to oh my God, I always forget Marie's Crisis, but that's not even gay. That's just theater gay. You know what I mean?
That's just theater. That's just
Yeah,
the
that's just
theater.
theater. But like, I don't know. I feel like they're really showing like a beautiful side of the queer community that like, someone from the outside, someone like Barry might look at like with giving it the stink eye because they don't understand it, but then it humanizes these like outlandish characters. And I don't know.
Well,
I think
and
it's a
it shows
triumph
that
and a riot.
it shows that like even though like they're family to each other, right? Know what I mean? Like it's not what you would think of like a normal family, but like they choose each other every time and they have like
Yeah.
the same socio structures as your heteronormative blah blah blah. They're just more fab doing it.
No, exactly. And it can be like the chosen found family, you know, is a huge thing in the queer community, and in other communities, but for the queer community, that's number one. And I think this shows is a beautiful look at a queer found family and all of the like, you know, family drama that comes with it. It's not all just like you and your family at home, your nuclear family or your blood related family. Y'all probably have some beef. It's the same thing with your chosen family, but then they work it out on the remix. And so I think it's really fun. I'm really glad we're doing this finally. It was fun to revisit this one.
Yeah, it was interesting doing research on it too. I watched a 30-minute interview that Tina Romero did, and then I read a couple of interviews from a couple of casts as well, and another one from Tina. And on the subject of social commentary, she talked about how like that was one of the starting places for her because that's so present in her dad's movies. That
Mm-hmm.
if she was also engaging, it's not obviously like a part of that series per se, but it does feel like a cousin of it, if you will, or
Yeah.
something. It's like in the family. It's not
It's in the
necessarily
chosen
direct
family at the
lineage,
very least.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, and she was saying there were a couple of things that she wanted to really hit on that were interesting about the community devouring itself, but also how the community comes together. Um, and I'll touch on that more later, but I thought that it was interesting the way that she talked about informing it from her own perspective as well. Because I'm not sure if the original series takes place in Pittsburgh or if that's just like where George A. Romero is from, and I think where they shot. And Tom Savini, who worked on those films and makes a cameo in this one as the mayor. His studio is nearby.
Yes. Oh my God, I
Um,
recognized him.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh my
yeah,
God. Keep.
he's like the motorcycle rider also in
Mhm.
Dawn of the Dead, I think. And then there's this doctor at the hospital is Galen Ross, who's also in Dawn of the Dead. Um,
Oh, that's so fun. I wish I'd rewatch that. My watching of Dawn of the Dead, I watched it on 2.5 speed when we were doing that 70s and 80s
yeah.
horror
Yeah.
movie draft with Raiders of the Lost podcast. Because it is like 2.5 hours long. And I was like, this is something that I am doing that is an abomination to horror fans everywhere. Like I'm doing a cardinal sin. So I'm really sorry, George and Tina, by that means. I'll do it again. I'll watch it again. Keep going, Chelsea.
But yeah, I mean, Tina was talking about how those are definitely all inspirations for her, but pulling from her own experience. She's like, my experience is in the queer nightlife scene in New York as a former DJ who used to like be often at a party called Hot Rabbit. So the Easter
Oh,
theming in this movie felt
there.
interesting as well. Although also just like
That was such a
Easter,
funny
he is
choice.
risen, Jesus, resurrection,
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
zombies,
mean,
you know,
that
like
makes a lot of sense.
classic stuff there as well. But yeah, it was interesting to hear her talk about that. I don't remember if it was her specifically, but somebody also talked about like they didn't want to get into stereotypes too much, except for the one stereotype they were leading into was like lesbians get shit done. And so oh, I think Katy O'Brian talked to that a little bit and said like, yes, my character does that a little, but also Margaret Cho's character really comes in like as
Oh my
the like
God.
prepper
Yeah.
essentially almost when
It's
with
the lawyer prepper
yes,
on
Poppy
the
the
like
fucking
hardcore lesbian
on the
crew somebody
scooters,
referenced it as. Yeah.
the scooter, the scooters.
the
That's
scooter
so
gang.
funny. The fact that they roll like lime scooters instead of like motorcycles. Like the vibe is motorcycles, but the energy is like squeak. Like it's
Yeah.
So good.
so hysterical.
It's so gay.
And
Like,
also like three different lesbian characters or queer coded queer characters, blah blah blah, whatever. At some point are like, I was a college athlete. I'm a girl
When
jock.
Ricky
Right.
Lindholm was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was on the softball team.
I did.
She does it.
I
Katy
did
O'Brien's character
collegiate
does
golf.
it. Yeah, I think Margaret Cho's character does it.
Oh yeah, she's like, I did collegiate golf, and they're like, whoa, that's really cool.
Oh yeah. She's like, that's how I put myself through Harvard or whatever.
Yeah, Katy O'Brian and Barry were both like, damn, that's fucking sick. Like, respect.
Yeah.
Very
Oh, and then Katy O'Brien's character at the end, after with the crossbow, she says, biathlon, national collegiate champions, 3rd place. So it's like they're all coming in being like, and I remember my rank and I remember my top placement and I draw on my jock skills when I need them. And there's that line with like Jane when she's running with Ricky Lindholm's character Lizzie, who's like, oh my God, running with a jock. Like my dad would be so
Yeah.
I
proud.
would be so proud.
I loved that part. She
There's
was
just, like, so many
cute.
Lines and like quotes in this movie that are so good that like I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I've got to remember to bring this up, and then another one and I was like, oh, and then at some point it was like, there's too many. They're all funny.
Every line is a fucking line, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not dialogue, it's like a fucking line. It's like overwhelming
like-
at times, but good.
Yeah, 95% of my notes was just me like writing down little lines, being like, hee hee. And then
So
also
fucking
Katy
good.
O'Brien, sexy bitch alert, because this is
Oh
the
my
sexiest
God.
I've ever seen her.
Oh my God. Katy O'Brian with the short hair really does something for me.
This is
Yeah.
the sexiest I've ever seen her, except for the time when she said, don't I know you from somewhere? Which I'm going to say 40 more times on the pod. Haven't we met before? In your dreams, in my dreams every night. Oh my God. She's so hot in this. When she's fighting those balloons at the beginning. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Muscle mommy still always. I told
Yeah.
her that when I met her that time. I was like, I loved Queens of the Dead, and she was like, cool. She wasn't that excited about it. I think she really thought that we knew each other. So when I was like, no, I'm just a fangirl.
She's
Right.
like, oh,
Didn't
Wow.
go over great. Didn't
I'm
go
not
over great.
prepared for a fan interaction. I was prepared to talk to a peer.
I
Katy,
was
we can be friends
so-
whenever.
Katy, call us.
Katy, whenever you'd like to have a regular peer-to-peer social interaction, we're going to be so normal about it.
I'm gonna be so chill.
Mhm.
I was chill last time, but I could be
Mhm.
chiller. You should have seen me with Jasmine Savoy Brown. I was incredibly chill with her. Oh my God. I just love this whole cast of characters. They're so fun. Also Dre as a name for Katy. Very hot.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah,
hot.
it's so good.
Hard to handle because it's so hot. Also, I just gotta say that Tomas Matos in this movie,
Scrumptious.
Mhm.
Scrumptious, Nico, aka Scrumptious. Oh my God, what a little bitch! Like 90% of the time, but there's a redemption arc there.
She steals
like,
the show
I was-
though.
Rewatching, I was like,
100%.
oh, 100% she steals the show. But I was dying because they're like every line. I was like, the cuntiest thing I've ever heard. The cuntiest thing I've ever heard. So funny. And I was telling y'all about this, but I don't think I've told the pod necessarily. Oh yeah, and Tomas uses they them pronouns.
All pronouns, I think. I did a pronoun check on everybody just so I'd be ready.
Oh, all pronouns.
So I've
Oh,
got
okay.
the list.
The IMDb says they, and so they're non-binary regardless.
Yeah.
I was referring
anyway.
to Scrumptious as she, so
Scrumptious is a she for sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
I'm
my
just
girl.
saying, so the audience knows. But Tomas Matos, an incredible part of Fire Island. If y'all haven't seen Fire Island, I feel like people didn't see it as much as they should have. Everybody saw Bros, but they didn't see Fire Island. I never
Did
saw
everybody
Bros.
see Bros?
Everybody heard about Bros, and then Bros like was kind of bad, I guess. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I can't speak to it. I
Monica
can't
says
speak to it.
everybody has seen Bros. I didn't
Well,
see it.
okay. Bro, well, I know because I was too busy seeing Fire Island. I don't even know if they came out.
You can only
year.
pick one. Everyone knows that.
That's not true. But Fire Island, you're not listening to what I'm trying to say because you're not letting me get there. Bros got a theatrical release. That's why I was
That's
saying
true.
everybody saw it. Everyone had the opportunity to see it. Only those with an elite Hulu membership were allowed to see Fire Island because it was just on streaming. But it's a delightful rom-com. It's got Tomas Matos. It's written by Joel Kim Booster, and it stars Joel Kim Booster and Bowen Yang. And also Margaret Cho is in it. Okay, if you like Queens of the Dead, you need to be watching Fire Island. You want to feel something? Get in there. You want to have fun. It also has, what's the name of the guy who's the other half of Las Culturistas? Matt Rogers. It's got everyone. Okay, anyway, that's the end of my pitch.
And the main guy, I think, is from How to Get Away with Murder, right? That guy?
I said the main guy's name is Joel Kim Booster, and Bowen Yang are the two main stars. Then Margaret Cho. I'll read them all. Conrad Ricamora.
That's
James
who I'm thinking
Scully.
of.
Oh, there's that guy too.
Yeah, he's on How to Get Away with Murder, and he just got cut out of How to Get Devil Wears Prada 2. Sorry. For a second,
he got cut out?
Yeah, he was supposed to be Andy's roommate in that movie, and then audiences were like, why does Andy have a roommate? And it's like, well,
because she's a journalist in New York.
Okay, we won't get into that. So now she just has, I didn't notice it for myself, but she has an Oh Mary poster in the back of her apartment, I think.
That sucks for Conrad Ricamora.
But she's cultured, so that makes sense either way.
And don't you forget Meg Stalter. I never know where the L is. I never know where the L is in her name. One, I saw her on Saturday at the Muna concert, and I was like, and she saw me make that face. So that was unfortunate because one time she bullied me at her show, and so I'm scared of her. I was getting my chapstick during the show, and I was in the second row, and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm getting my chapstick. And she's like, oh my God, I thought you were getting your phone out. And then I tried to say something cute, and it went over really bad, and then she made fun of me the rest of the show. It was terrible. Anyway, I love her so much. She's going to be the star of Oh Mary for sometime this summer. That was just announced like yesterday. So anyway, we can talk about this movie. Sorry, there's so much to talk about when we're talking about gay people.
Yeah, no, I was going through everybody's IMDb, and I was finding so many things where I was like over and over.
Right?
But in terms of strictly speaking, this movie, I would like to talk about the opening because it slays very hard. With Julie J as, what do they credit her as? It's like zombie diva or some zombie queen. Is how she's credited.
Zombi.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. It's not 2 words. It's 1 word. But the way that she is just like coming from drag brunch in the beginning, or drag bingo in the beginning, and then she's just like gonna swing by church, like do a little prayer, yes girl, to God, but she's just like dressed to the
she knows how hard it is to work for tips.
Yes. Oh, it's just like, it's such an incredible opener. It really sets the tone. It's like everybody's gonna slay super hard. I want you to know that off the fucking bat. And we're going there because Choir Daddy 69 is in this church, and he is both a member of the clergy, and also he is the most fabulous zombie that you've ever seen. And
what
he's
a sexy
so
zombie.
He's so hot because she's like, I love when she looks at him and she's like not put off at all by the fact that he's like green and silver. But she's like, oh, she's like licking her lips.
You're stiff. Yeah.
Stiff. Also, it was good to like establish that fake dating app where it gives you like a like beep 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 beep, like that you could like track somebody down to fuck them. I was like, please tell me that's not a real thing. I am not on Grindr, so I don't think they do that. Well, okay, Grindr
will tell you though, like how many feet away a person is.
Sydney, what was that thing that our friend accidentally turned on their Grindr? Do you remember that? Oh, we should text him and ask him. He accidentally turned on this crazy feature on his Grindr, and all of a sudden he got like 1,000. Oh, it was like
what was that?
It was a feature that was like, let's go. Like that kind of thing.
It was like, I'm ready It was
Let's
basically
go.
like Little Caesars hot and ready. Like, let's go right
100%.
now.
And he looked at his phone and he's like, what the fuck happened? I'm getting the craziest messages I've ever gotten in my life and a million of them. And then he realized what he had done and he was like, okay, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. Anyway, I liked that they established that. That was like a fun little gimmick throughout the film. Yeah. But
Yeah,
oh
they
my
said
God.
something later in the movie about like, oh, my right swipe is approaching. So I'm like, maybe you can only zone in on somebody you've previously matched with like that.
Yeah, no. Yeah. You have to match. That would be fucking psychotic. That would be really bad.
Well, I mean, I don't know because I'm not on Grinder. That's not for me. But I think on Grinder it shows you the distance before you match. Maybe it just doesn't show you.
It's
It
like,
doesn't beep you out
It doesn't
loud.
beep.
yeah. Yeah, I think it shows you like vague, like within 2 miles of you, but it's not like they're at the Pizza
These
Hut at
headless
the end of the
apps are
block.
10 feet away.
Go to the Pizza Hut now. Like, no. That's
There's a
not
TikTok
good.
creator. I think if I remember correctly, his name's like Horace Gold or something. And he was talking about how he locked his keys out of his apartment. He like couldn't get back into his apartment. So he was like, I just got on Grinder and found somebody that was like within this building and was like, hey, can you let me back into the thing? And they did.
That sounds familiar.
So funny.
It's just, I don't know. It's such an incredible opening that really sets the tone. But it's interesting the way they reveal the cast of characters because that's Zombie Queen is not really a character. She's more like showing it an inciting incident, sort of. And then it's like, let's go to
she
one of
is
our
an
real
inciting
divas.
incident later as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because after that we cut to the hospital where we are introduced to Sam and Lizzie maybe a little bit later, but Jane right away.
Yeah.
They do a really great job of splicing together like coherent, whatever. It's like things are happening simultaneously,
Like
in
all
a
the
really
different
fun
parts.
way. Like, yeah, I love the splice between Jinsey and Sam both doing their little numbers. It's like great establishment for both of those characters, plus all the rest of the go-go dancers and scrumptious, as we discussed.
And Jinsey Tonic giving Mother Mary realness
Oh my God.
with the halo.
She is so iconic.
That whole
She's
little
like one of
opening
my
number
favorite
is so
parts.
funny.
And I love
Mhm.
all of her outfits. All of her outfits are so fucking funny. The fashion is so fun. I love how they have that part later on where they're like, we have to be first responders. And they and they just decide to like put together these full on bedazzled outfits. It's so fucking funny. It's hysterical.
They become stripper firefighter Bob the Bedazzler and Super Mario at the Cock on Second Avenue.
The
is
Cock on
what
Second Avenue is
Kelsey
a
calls
great.
them. But yeah, no, it's really fun the way that they're like jumping between setting up all of the scenes. They've got like Yasmin calling Dre and being like, I'm sick because she wants to go to the glitter bitch party instead. And that was one of the social commentaries that Tina was touching on, was the quote, corporate poaching of queer talent. And it's like a complicated issue that she talked about a little bit, where it's like, of course, I want all queer people to get paid, and that's where the money is. So it's hard to blame somebody who needs to make a living the same way that the rest of us do, and this is how they do it.
100%.
But it's this unfortunate dichotomy of like these really scrappy parties that are doing their best to be accessible to the community and affordable and keep prices really low, while also losing their best talent to the places that can afford to pay them, where they're standing around with people who don't know them, don't love them, but want to be in proximity to them so that they can take a picture, post it on their Instagram, and go, look, I'm doing something cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like, I mean, and it's so interesting now. What's it called? The like rainbow. Oh, what's that phrase?
Oh, rainbow capitalism.
Rainbow
Oh.
capitalism. Thank you. which was such a huge thing. And then now because of like
Oh my
where we're
God,
at
yeah.
with goddamn Trumpster dumpster and like how shit everything is, now they're like barely doing that. I mean, rainbow capitalism is really fucking obnoxious because they don't put their money where their mouth is, and it's terrible, but it's just like,
But I'd
oh, it's
rather
not
that
in vogue
than
anymore. It's
Mm-hmm.
not in
takeaway,
vogue
right?
anymore, so they're not doing that at all. We're not even getting a Target Pride collection anymore. Oh no. But yeah, no, that was really interesting part of it that you bring up. I think that also Dominique Jackson just has one of the craziest, most gorgeous faces I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
life, and it's a
she's
great reminder
stunning.
that I should be watching Pose, or I should have watched Pose. I understand that it is no longer actively coming out. I do know that. But yeah, I loved that influencer event because it was so. I think they did a really good job of portraying it with that like influencer wannabe girl and her
And her
boyfriend
boyfriend. That
and
was
her like
so
maybe like
physically
not
painful to watch.
her gay boyfriend or something. Like they
Slobbing
were
on that
like
knob.
Yeah.
he was slobbing on the knob, and then he also made some comment about how he was like really attracted to someone who was like definitely I think it was Yasmin, who's like a drag queen or whatever. I'm not exactly sure how she identifies. Um
I
but
think
yeah.
a drag like or I think I don't know if you identify as a drag queen, but like
Yeah. The actress is a transgender woman, but I got this.
Uh,
The character is a drag queen, but she also might be a transgender woman. There's
yeah,
definitely
which you can
it
overlap in
could
the
become
go
community. We've seen that on RuPaul's Drag Race and stuff like that.
100%. Yeah. So like he's like attracted to her, and like I don't know. That was just so silly, and I loved all of it, and I loved their deaths. I loved their deaths so much. It was so hysterical. And the like picture printing out of the photo booth of
Mm-hmm.
it. I thinking we do like a kissy and then blah blah blah. And I just thought it was hysterical. All these kills are super fun.
Yeah.
Um
And they're the ones who got the Slay Mama into the script
yeah.
because they were talking to her and the girl was like, Slay Mama. And then the boy's like, Slay. So that's representation for
you
me,
gotta
I
have a
guess.
slay mama where it happens.
You gotta work it in organically, you know. But yeah, the way they're like, I'm obsessed with you, I love you. What's your name again? Like,
Who
it
are
is
you?
just, yeah, it's just classic. And it's one of the other things that Tina was like trying to talk about and address a little, um, is like the phone zombies, where we're all walking around looking down at our phones constantly, bumping
Yeah.
into each other, bumping into things, not engaged with the world around us. Even at like, I mean, I think part of her point was like less so, hopefully, at queer nightlife. But certainly
But
not none. Um,
well,
where it's just
Yasmin makes that post and she gets half the zombies to move over there because they're
Mhm.
looking at her content, following their influencer. You know what I mean?
I
mm-hmm.
love that even as zombies, we're still scrolling.
Because I was like, that's not how live works. It doesn't just automatically broadcast onto people's phones unless they click it, but they are, still
They're
just like
Well, they have that moment where oh, what's their character's name? Beautiful go-go dancer person with the long
Jax.
Jack.
hair. Jax. Jax is like becomes a zombie. Was already a zombie, by the way, because that was a lot of what was it that they took? Ket? I don't know.
It was a pill.
Bars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Zan.
Zans. It was Zans. That's crazy to do 3
Y'all,
Zans
y'all
before a
remember the
show.
Zandemic?
Yes, I do. And I was like visiting my friend in Philadelphia, and everyone was like, want a Zan, want a Zan. And I was like, we're not doing this in LA yet. We're not, my friends are not Zanning and drinking. You're not supposed to do that.
You'll
I
die, girl.
remember friends accidentally having very terrible experiences doing just that in college.
It was
I never like
crazy.
Zans. They make me just go to sleep, and I go, why do I
Which
want
is
to
like
party
what
on
they're
this?
for. Yeah.
I
They're
want
like,
other fun
oh,
pills. I want to dance.
I asked people, I was like, what did they make you feel like? And they're like, oh, it makes you feel like you're drunk. And I was like, why not fucking get drunk then? I don't get it. Whatever. And I again didn't get it in this situation because it just literally put Jax out, and then they were a zombie, they became a zombie. But my point being, they're in the cage. There's Nico, Scrumptious, right there talking to their face. They're non-responsive. But then Scrumptious calls Jax on the phone, and Jax picks up the phone still. Does start gnawing on it right away. I understand what Tina was trying to do with this, but I do think it was the most like ham-fisted part of the movie. I just don't think it was like fleshed out in any way, and it was just like this. It obviously was part of her big vision for it, but I just don't love the execution on that part for me. I don't think it was as effective as it could have been. It was just kind of like sidelined almost, and I was like, why is this here? But then I get what they're trying to say, but it's like not ham-fisted, hornshoe. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that a thing? Is that the phrase I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Shoehorned.
Shoehorn, horn shoe. You know, don't you guys love it when I make up?
Yeah.
Don't you guys love it when I make up a new thing? That's a bastardization of the real thing. But yeah, I didn't think that stuck the landing for me. But I still get it. I get it. We are zombies to our phone. I am there. I'm there. I'm doing it. I'm there. I'm doing it all the time. Need to delete Instagram again and start reading books. Remind me to do
I do that too. I go nature walk. I read the things. I think I got like 12 hours screen time. It's chill. Like you can be multifaceted.
You can somehow still find the extra hours to be on your phone. Even if you're spending all day outside, you just spend all night online. And
like you can go to the gym. Like you like you can work out, you can go to the gym, you can do other things, you can record a beautiful podcast. Don't worry, you'll still get your 12 hours a day on your phone.
It's a scary time to be alive.
Somebody's got to be chronically online. I am, if not, a cultural anthropologist.
That you keep me like abreast of the situation. And
so many people. That. It's a personal undertaking that I take upon.
Thank you so much for your service. But I think it's time to talk about who I am portraying tonight, which is my favorite character in this movie, probably. Besides Dre, but I also think that Dre is totally underutilized in this film, and it's a huge tragedy because they're so sexy. But Kelsey, I love Kelsey so much. And more than anything else, I love Kelsey like because it's Jack Haven playing Kelsey. It is just such a like crazy role for me to see Jack play, like just like comparatively to what I've seen Jack do before. And I'm saying Jack a lot because I want to double check what their pronouns are.
They, them.
They, them? Yay! Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously we covered, I saw the TV Glow, one of the best movies. Just one of the best movies, by the way. Oh my God! They're in Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma.
Their character's name is Little Death.
Oh, I love that.
I can't wait for that movie. I wish it was coming out in time for Pride this year. I was really hoping that would be the case. But alas. There was some sort of like big screening of it today though, and Gillian Anderson had her hair done up to the fucking god. She had it like whoosh, beautiful curly blonde mane. Jane was looking stunning, beautiful, and so was Hannah Einbinder. Oh my god. But yeah, I love Jack Haven so much, and this character was just like so funny to see Jack Haven playing this girly girl Gen Z astrological like astrology lover, and like I don't know, every choice, everything was so perfect. Like her getting the fucking axe in the leg was absolutely
I got an axe wound.
And her just being like her scream, like it's so funny.
I love the way that she does I love the way that the character does the lines. When she goes yum 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 yum, that one I love.
Yes. the way she holds the groaning on the ground, just like
being like really chill about everything. I mean, on drugs, clearly.
And her relationship with what's Margaret Cho's character name?
Piper,
Oh, Piper,
Poppy.
Poppy. Oh, I loved that. That was so funny. I loved how unexpected it was. And I love
Yes.
also Sam is a really good nurse. When Sam's like, "Oh my god, like what's going on with you? Let me distract you from your axe wound in your leg." She's like, "I'm really proud because I'm in charge of the Gen Z float for Pride."
She's the captain.
She's the captain.
She's the captain. That's why they're calling her Captain Kels in the beginning.
She's the captain. That's a huge honor. As someone who has like 4 or 5 Gen Z friends now, I loved her. I'm getting to understand Gen Z more and more every day.
I love that for you.
No, it's interesting though to see Jack Haven in the role also, because I don't think that Jack has ever played a character that is as feminine as this one. And for this to come after Jack announced, I think I saw that it was in like 2019, they shared that they were non-binary, and then they only started going by Jack a couple of years ago, like in the last 2 years, I think. And Jack was also one of the last actors attached to this project. And so that was something that Tina Romero was kind of concerned about too, being like, hey, like, Jack, is this cool with you? Like, this character is super girly. Is that how's that gonna feel for you? And Jack was kind of like, well, I have this like Russian drag queen alter ego that I do sometimes named Brit. I actually only saw the character's name written out. But my guess is Bridges. Is the name of it, or how you would say it, perhaps. It's Brigus. But she was saying like it's almost like Jack was doing drag to be Kelsey, sort of. And so it added this additional queer
that's what it felt like.
level with the role. That's super interesting.
Yeah, I loved that. I'm like, true chameleon. Jack is the best. Ugh. They're also very hot. Very cool.
Jack had a really interesting quote too. Just bringing this in because it's Trans Pride Month. But in an interview that I was reading, the interviewer asked about the strong connection between horror as a genre and transness in general. And Jack talked about a book called Men, Women, and Chainsaws. And the gaze of horror movies, gaze like looking, and how horror movies give a mostly male, I know sometimes you have to clarify.
Yeah.
Horror movies give a mostly male audience the experience to see through the vulnerability of the final girl and then to transcend and become the killer at the last minute and sort of get to ravage that vulnerable image, quote, but I think very much horror movies are about the grotesque nature of the body and the innate horror of the structures that we're sort of imprisoned within. So yeah, I think horror is innately very trans. So I thought that was just a great quote.
That's an amazing quote.
That is a good quote.
I totally agree. It's so horror can be so visceral,
Mm-hmm. And it just seems like such a fantastic production to be part of in general. Dominique Jackson was like the first person attached to this movie, but it's like very queer in front of the camera and behind. They also talked about what a queer cast or what a queer crew it was as well.
Yay!
I read an interview with Thomas Matos and Nina West, who is Jinsey Tonic. And Thomas Matos, who is Nico Scrumptious.
Nico Scrumptious is a great name.
I know, incredible. And Tomas was saying that they had a queer director of photography, a queer head of props. So it's just like all of these different positions that are also coming together to like really bring both a knowingness and authenticity to all of these different aspects of it. You know what I mean? You don't have somebody coming in who needs to like study this culture that they're not part of so that they can try and get things right. It's like everybody's who's working on it is so informed, and I think that really just like comes through on every level.
There's nothing like working on a set that's like a mostly queer set. And I've had the very, very, very lucky opportunity to do that several times now. And it's just like unmatched creativity, the best time.
It's just
The
like
fucking
I
best.
mostly work with women, and every time I have to interact with one of my male coworkers, it's like a slight jump scare a little bit because it's just like mostly women. Like
How'd you get in here?
it's
What
like,
is a
ah,
man?
what are you? But like truly, mostly throughout my day, just talks with women, and I go, oh, men are here too. Boo.
Forgot.
Mhm. But sometimes men can be part of the community as well.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, gay men, trans men, non binary people for sure, but also Barry is
Barry.
family, like it or
Yeah.
not.
Barry
I
listening to
loved
his like
Barry.
right wing
Podcast in the
podcast at the very
beginning. Oh my
beginning.
God.
Barry
Stupid
being
Joe
like,
Rogan ass. Yeah.
Barry seeing that the zombie person was greenish tinge, being like, maybe that was a lizard person. I loved that. That was so fucking funny. That was so funny. I thought that was a really cool aspect to have, to have like a little bit of like a challenger in the group or whatever and have him come around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that actor is adorable too. I think he's just a little cutie and I loved it when he wore the little outfits and he did his thing. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
really
I mean,
really
I
nice.
think it's like, sure, not everyone is going to come around, even through biological ties and extended exposure, but it also shows how just like being around people who are different from you can change your perspective and open your eyes and make you realize that whatever you're, even if you don't get it, you can still learn how to treat people with respect, person to person. You don't need to be like the most informed person in the world from day
Mhm.
one to just speak to people like they're people. And he
Be
is
open
not
to
there
learn.
right away, but he
Mhm.
does slowly start to get there. And the line from Scrumptious, when she's like, let me see. She is a drag queen. They are non-binary and you are behind. So
Yeah.
kindly catch the fuck up. It's so like, yes, you are like, if you want to be bigoted, what that's your path to follow, I guess. But what you're doing is just like closing yourself off and excluding yourself from so many things. You could be part of this, having fun with us at the party at the end of the world, surviving with the crew. But if you want to do that, you have to learn how to get along.
You've got to
Mhm.
just be accepting. Here's the thing. Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But who are you to yuck other people's yum? You know, like,
No
who
one's saying
cares,
you have to be trans.
right? Like, you
Exactly,
don't
that's the
have to be
thing.
gay. You don't have to do this. But like, if you just like aren't mean and let them have basic human rights.
I've had to have this like conversation with a friend who I thought was a lot woker than they were, and they like were like saying stuff that I won't even repeat, like about transness and not understanding it. And there's someone who's like an actor. And I was like, your whole thing is that you put yourselves in other people's shoes to take on their perspective and take on these new personas. Like, imagine looking in the mirror and not seeing what you think on the inside. Like, you can do that. You're an actor, or you're not a good one if you can't do that. Just like imagine that dysphoria. And then, like, you want to stop someone from feeling like themselves. Like, I just don't understand that on a basic level. I don't want anyone to be feeling terribly or badly or whatever. And just let people be who they are. It's 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 more intense, of course, than like dressing in a different way or dressing more outlandishly, but like we get to personalize our avatars. Like that is the one thing we get to do in our life. Like let people express themselves the way that they feel fit as long as they're not hurting other people. Then what the fuck is the issue? I don't understand. People really just think that like transness is like taking away. Some people like turfs think that like transness is like taking things from women somehow. And I'm like, How would that
How?
happen? Where would that be happening? Tell me literally, J.K. Rowling, where that happens. Like it's not real. It's not based in
Here's my
any
thing.
sort of reality, and it's just like abject fear of the unknown.
I say this all the time, like to people who would be that. I'd be like, it's hard being a woman. Like, if you are a man and you like feel you want to be a woman, who am I to make it even harder on you? Like, it's already hard doing this. You're like being so brave and vulnerable, like exposing yourself out to like more hate, possible murder, like just like horrible things. Who the fuck am I to not embrace you and welcome you into womanhood? Why would
Yeah.
I make it harder on you?
It's
Like,
just
you
like
being in the same
worry
spaces
about
as me takes away nothing from me.
yeah. It's just like it's hard to understand that perspective at all because it's just like why come from a place of hate like that, you know? Just let people live and love and be themselves. That's
It's
what you
also not
want.
to get so stuck in this one part of the discussion, but
Yeah.
it's just like to be transphobic is to be so gender essentialist and
Yeah.
stereotypical to people of all biological sexes, gender expressions. Like, if you don't want people to be able to transition and present the way that they feel is representative of who they are, then you're also going to be in the business of restricting the way that women cut their hair or wear makeup or the clothes that they wear, what men can wear. And now it's a whole thing of like, we're policing the clothes people can buy. We're policing, I don't know, it's so you're reducing rights for everybody.
Totally. And I think a
Mhm.
lot of people, like, when I do think about it a little bit more, some people really thrive with a set of very strict rules, you know, to feel safe. And so, like, they see people who aren't following those same rules and they're like, I'm not safe. And it's just like, they're not doing anything to you.
Not everybody
And
has
it's,
to follow your rules. Those
no,
are
it's
your rules.
your
That's your
rules.
choice. But
That's
my
your
rules
prerogative.
are that everybody can be trans if they want to be.
Yeah,
And whatever that means to
exactly.
them is their call.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
personal.
and I liked the portrayal of our I mean there's many trans characters, but the trans character that we hear the most from is Jane, right?
Hmm.
That's her character's name. And I thought that was an interesting perspective too, like having her having just had like I guess like an OD or something from like
Hmm.
the bad drugs that Scrumptious had given her. And just like letting us see like the dissonance that can happen in the medical space for trans folks, especially someone who's like earlier ish in their transition, like she hasn't changed her name legally is all I mean.
Mhm.
She
Um
hasn't done all the paperwork.
hasn't done all the paperwork and like yeah, like it's so easy to be talked down to in those spaces and so she's getting her medical care like outside of the system which has its innate like um dangers and so it's cool to have like her character with the foil of Lizzie, like Ricky Lindholm's character being like there actually are some allies in the healthcare system. I'm one of them and you can find a way to like do this. Like you do have allies and support even though some it might feel like it's fewer and further between. But yeah, I really liked Jane's character. I thought she was funny and I liked her styling a lot too. They did a good job of like portraying that
Her
she
outfit
is
is
a
so
dancer. It's
cute when
so
she finally changes
cute.
back into her clothes. Oh my
It's
god, she's
very
adorable.
ballet core. It's very ballet core.
Her
And
little
she says,
slip.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and
like
like
so
she has the
sweet.
like arm warmer kind of tight things underneath, and she says like her niece fucked up because of a dancing injury. And I was like, I believe it. Great styling. Honestly, all the costumes in this are so fucking good. Everyone looks so good. And I'm so glad. I couldn't remember if we ever got to see Samonse be, sorry, not Sam Onse, Samonse. People say it Sam Onse at some points though.
It's Samonse.
Samonse. I couldn't remember if we get to ever see her do her damn thing.
At the end.
No, I know. I just like before I rewatched because I couldn't remember. And so I was like, what does she look like? I need to see. And it was so, I loved that costume so much. I loved all that. Every movie, maybe not every movie, but maybe every movie should have like multiple musical numbers by drag queens, I think.
I agree.
I think they would all be better with that. Maybe tonally it could be weird for some of the more serious, sad Oscar contenders there, but there should at least be one.
New category at the Oscars. New category.
Best drag song and dance.
I want to see just like, you know, what's that Leonardo DiCaprio movie with a bear and he's like shivering and then all of a sudden it cuts to drag queen song and dance.
So good. Also, just before we forget, I just want to say that there is a doctor from the pit in this movie.
The social worker from the pit.
The social worker. But that could be a doctor.
Becca Blackwell.
Social work? No. Okay. Yeah. Becca Blackwell played Twiz. We never hear that name, I don't think.
We hear it once, I think, at the very end.
Hey, Twiz.
Yeah. It took a long time to hear Tiger's name as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful redhead person on a scooter. That is Twiz.
Yeah, I mean, Margaret Cho's whole crew is incredible. To go back to Samonse for a second, I will say I think the reason that it's so easy to be like, did we ever see Samonse is because Samonse is performing Kesha. And as a Kesha big time fan from back in the day, I loved how much Kesha is in this movie and that we got Blow, and it felt like a tribute to Ginsy Tonic because that was the song that Ginsy Tonic was doing at the beginning, and it is thematic to be like this place about to blow,
right?
But it feels like we're ramping up to a Beyonce song when we finally see Sam in full Samonse regalia, and then it just isn't there. So that's
Beyonce
one
song
of my
would work
main
in that
notes.
moment.
I'm not enough of a Beyonce expert to say, and I also think it would potentially be way too expensive for this movie
100%.
to get a Beyonce song. And I think that's
100%.
probably
Beyonce,
why.
be an ally.
But it's like she performs Blow, she lip syncs Blow for that 1 minute, and it is incredible, and I do love it. But then it's like they go outside and they all get on the float, and I'm like waiting for one more big moment. And maybe it's because I think we talked about this when we saw the movie. In my head, I have like a memory of someone singing to zombies to draw them down the street somewhere. And I'm like, well, I thought it was this movie, but it's clearly not this movie. It must be something else. But now I don't know what it is.
You're like, if it's not this movie, what on earth? What other
know.
zombie movie could it possibly be?
I think you're just conflating that they played the music and it draws them down the street with that.
Maybe. But I feel like when I watched this movie, I was like, this reminds me of something else that I can't put my finger on.
Oh,
and
well,
I still can't.
And you still can't.
And I still can't.
It's not for you to know.
Just some like small points I want to point out before we like talk about the end or whatever. I know we've been jumping all over, but just Margaret Cho's last moments with the electrical, and she screams out
the zombie rat.
Labia! That was a really strong choice. And I also love that Barry didn't know what labia was. That's so sad.
I liked Gingy Tonic's whole like sacrifice.
Yeah, no, I
That
felt like
was
there's
So
heart-wrenching.
emotionally moving.
That was heart-wrenching.
This movie has a lot of action in it, and I also think it does a really good job of balancing all of the interpersonal dramas that are also taking place. I was thinking about it a little just in regards to Primate from last week, where they're both like one night only kind of deal. But Primate is so like grounded in the immediate what's happening. Um, and this movie is so like there's so much history between
Mhm.
every character. It's like Dre and Sam have beef because they used to be tight, and then Sam bailed on a show one time because he just was too in his head. He couldn't get out of it. His
Kinda like a
demons
panic
is too much
attack.
for him. Yeah, he had to like run basically, and it fucked Dre over majorly because she had to refund everybody's money. It was like Yum was finally starting to be a thing,
It was her
and it
And
first
kind
then
of
no
sold
like
one
out
cut him off
trusted
show.
at
it
the
anymore.
knees. Yeah, and now their reputation just isn't the same. And it's like you screwed me over, but you weren't there for me. Like this back and forth. And then you also have Jinsey Tonic being like so sweet as a drag mother to Samonse, being like, look, it happens. You balked, you choked. Like, we're gonna get it together. It's fine. I'm gonna be
Doesn't
here
have to
for
be your
you.
whole life. Yeah.
And even when we're like going out to try and get the food truck from the Glitter Bitch event, um, I didn't want to go originally, and now I'm seeing you get ready to go out there, and I'm like, not without me, girl. Like, I need to be here for you because you're just telling me about what a tough time you were having, and I don't want you to be alone
Alone.
out there.
Yeah.
Um, and Jax and Nico have this like very beautiful friendship that we just like get glimpses of as well, but you can see how much like love exists between them. It just feels very like they seem like people who've had full lives up until this point, and it really
Yeah.
reads that way on screen
They
throughout the whole
just
movie.
which is crazy because it's such a fucking huge ensemble cast. There's so many goddamn characters, but they use like contrast to last week. They use their dialogue very wisely to get you that sense of depth because I think we were saying last week they like we're gleaning a lot
Yeah.
but we're not seeing a lot,
Mhm.
so
They
they
were
do a
doing
lot of good job.
construction for how they can have the plot that they had, and then they weren't like meaningfully incorporating that into an emotional character journey. Whereas this one, it's like every character is having their own emotional character journey, and a zombie apocalypse is going on.
Truly a
And
lot. And
they're
it's
having a party that slays.
and they're having a party that slays, and it's only an hour and 40-minute long movie.
They fit
So
so much in.
Yeah.
because
There's
they
so
do
much
all
things.
those smash dash scenes where all the emotional things are happening at the same time and they cut between the two. They save a lot of time that way.
And they get 100,000 jokes in, which is crazy.
The lines are just so cunt.
Mm-hmm.
They're so
When
good.
they're like Lizzie and Wifey, secret Disney adults, oh my God, like
Oh,
what did we fight for, right? If Marsha could see it, it's like, oh my God, I went to
if
Disney a
Marsha
few
could see
days
us
ago,
now.
drag me.
If Marsha could see it, I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. Okay, going to Disneyland every now and again is different than being a Disney adult. I just want that to be so for
I'm
real.
looking at my ears
Unless
right now, unfortunately.
Here's the thing.
I just
Going
put mine
to
away in a
Disney
box
is
in there
fun.
from 10 years ago.
Being a Disney adult. Although
I do
Disney
watch
adults
this
never
one
stop
Disney
making
Adults
your
video.
content because I love it.
Do you
I
watch
gotta
that
say.
Disney adult mom girl who like looks like a little pixie and she like Disney bounds every day with her kids and they like live in Orlando so they can go to Disneyland like every day. She like goes on a walk there every day. I watch it and I'm like, wow,
Here's the thing.
the life you lead.
The
I am
lady who
fascinated.
lives in at Disneyland, there's like bricks outside in
Oh.
between the two parks that people like donate money and they can have their names on it and all this kind of
Mm.
stuff. There's a woman in Utah who like flies to Disneyland all the time to clean those bricks for fun.
Love that for her.
It's
So
Everybody's
important
gotta
to
have a
believe in
passion.
fascinating
something.
content. I go, girl, where do you have the money to do this?
From her views, perhaps.
I guess.
Yeah.
But no, I think this script is really incredible. It really utilizes its space so well. There's so much that comes back around. Like Barry has to be there to plunge the toilet, pulls out the dead rat, and is like, "Well, it's not gonna come back to life." And then it's like, "Of course, it's gonna come back to life. It's a
Yeah.
zombie movie." And then that's part of the like Margaret Cho scene. That's incredible.
And then
And
like the window comes back
mm-hmm.
around. There's so many
Yasmin
little
and her
things.
Yasminis. I love that she calls them her Yasminis.
Oh yeah.
Yasminis. I also love
She's like, "Oh yeah, he's chased." And oops, didn't mention that.
I loved Jimmy played by Cheyenne Jackson too. And I loved how hard Jinsey Tonic was going after him the entire time. Like on my second watch, I was like, oh my God, she's literally all over him the entire time. It's hysterical. And his stupid ass hat. And I love how they both got so excited about the crossbow, him and Barry, and they both could
Mm-hmm.
not do anything with it. Hysterical.
Just like a little commentary there about how gay men are part of the community, but sometimes they are still men. And they're gonna be out here like this girl told me to secure the premises. Duh, girl. 1 second later, a man says, "Let's secure the premises." Yeah, let's all go secure the premises. Like, oh my god, crossbow slay.
But yeah, I think like with the ending of this movie, I love how it all like comes together. Like we get all the reunions. We finally have Lizzie back in town with Barbara the car.
What
Right?
a great name for the car.
The one clip that I watched from Night of the Living Dead, there's a girl named Barbara in that movie, and it was like, "They're coming for you, Barbara," and that's like, I bet
Oh
that's a reference.
yeah. Oh my
Wow.
God.
But I don't know
That
how big of
makes
a character she is,
sense.
so.
That's
She
so
gets in a
true.
car, and I googled like Barbara car, Night of the Living Dead, what kind of car or whatever. It's not an Impala, but it's like a
That's
Pontiac, something I don't know.
that's cool. That's really
I
cool. That's
thought maybe.
perfect.
Let's bring up the jump scare that is pregnancy in this movie.
Oh my
Mm.
God. Yeah, her being pregnant the whole time. That one scene where she like is so adamant about saving that baby and then it's the like worst looking zombie baby I've ever
That
seen
was
in my
so
life, but I
scary.
still loved it. It was so
Hmm.
funny.
Yeah, no,
Um
I think it was worth it for the zombie baby scene. And Tina Romero said, like, I would rather have a charmingly bad practical effect puppet on set than trying to do something with CGI. But that was another one of the Tom Salvini collabs for this movie. So just a
they
little
they did
sprinkle of the
one
magic.
CGI thing that was really bad though, which was when I mean it looked funny, but when Katie oh sorry, Dre shoots the disco ball with the crossbow after her near death experience and then it falls on Zombie Queen's head and then it explodes. That was like the such terrible CGI. Like go back and watch it. It's so CGI and it's really awful, but it was very funny. It kind of added to the charm. Yeah, I love the ending. I love that Samonse and Dre can like come together because they're kind of between a rock and a hard place. Sam was like, "You, I needed you to be my friend," and Dre was like, "You had some like I think Dre understands what happened, but they're like, what you did like destroyed my business, and had like crazy effects on like this thing that was my dream, you know? So it's hard because like both of their dreams kind of died that night. Like the success of Yum was really destroyed for a really long time. Like trust in the brand was gone and then Simonse was like not a thing anymore.
Mhm.
Um so it was great that to see them like that they're like okay whatever bygones be bygones no matter what I don't want you to fucking die in a zombie apocalypse I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get you And I loved that scene so much. And I just love to see Katy O'Brian again because it's hard when it's an ensemble cast this big and I don't get to see Katy every second.
More Katy.
That's hard for me. That's hard for me to not see her every second. It hurts me.
It was
deeply.
interesting because Tina Romero talked in one interview about how Jaquel Spivey, I think is how his first name is pronounced, but he plays Samonse. How Jaquel Spivey and Katy O'Brian are technically the co-leads of this movie, and they have like equal scene time and stuff like that, and that was important. And it's like you can kind of tell that, but also there's so much going on and so many people involved at all times, and so many of the, in theory, more background characters are complete scene stealers, like Scrumptious and Kelsey and Poppy. The way that Barry, even honestly,
Barry, he's so cutie. Who's that actor? I think he's handsome. Quincy Dunn Baker. I was like, by the end, in his gayer little shirt, I was like, good.
Yes, once he's like fully committed and he has that line after he accidentally reveals Lizzie's pregnancy to Dre. And he says like, whatever that kid is, boy, girl, they, them, whatever, I'm teaching that kid how to plumb. It's important. It's like, look,
I would love to know how to plumb. We all should know how to plumb.
We all should, quite frankly.
When they get to the ferry at the end and we see all of them snoozing once they're safely on the ferry, and Jane has like fallen asleep with her head on Barry's shoulder, I am buying in. I'm 100% buying in.
Oh, I was like, oh my God, where was that scene? I would have loved to see that scene.
We need the sequel to see what's going on there.
I would love a sequel to this movie. We will not get that, but I did think it was also hysterical that they're like, we got to do one of those like, oh, gotcha jump scares at the very end.
It's a perfect setup for a sequel.
It's very, I know what you did last summer.
Well, Tina said a sequel. That's a great question. I've been thinking a lot about that's a great question. To bring it back to Monica's thing earlier, she said, I've been thinking a lot about where are they going on this boat? Are they going to Fire Island? Maybe they're going to Iceland. That would be cool too. But I guess I want to see them keep fighting. We left a lot of survivors, and I think it's begging. I would like to do a sequel. I would like to see what happens to these characters. I'm very curious about what happens to Nico specifically. What about the rest of the queer community? What are the gays doing to deal with the zombies in the future? How are they hanging on to their undead in the ways that we've seen my dad do that in Survival of the Dead? How are they keeping the undead around? So that's kind of what I'm chewing on right now. So like, I don't know that we will get a sequel. I would love to get a sequel. And I think that it would make me so sad if it was like, Nico's just a zombie now and there's nothing to be done. Scrumptious out. I feel like there's something there potentially. Like, basically, I Googled, like, Queens of the Dead ending explained just to see if somebody was presenting any other theories. Everybody was kind of just like, yeah, sad at the end, actually. Guess they're all probably gonna die or whatever. At least Nico. I was like, no. Granted,
Nico's wearing contacts.
We haven't seen anybody else turn. We've just seen them like show up again as a zombie. Like we like look over and they're full zombie.
Tiger turning, but like
but nobody else's eyes flash pink. So I choose to believe there's something interesting, special, maybe a little different going on there. Because there's literally a line at the end that's like, who doesn't love a happy ending? Me, I love a happy ending. So I like your little
it's just a little gimmick.
Yeah. I don't buy into everybody's doomed after all. That's not what's happening here.
They wrote that shit out of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Whatever that twist was, they pretend it didn't happen. And they'll do that again. And that's fine. You're allowed to do that. The little scare at the end is fake and it's a dream. Like the dream that told you to do trans pride. It's like that. Except now it's real. So I actually kind of did the opposite of what.
Well, here's my pitch for that. It is a prophecy, like my dream, that we were doing Trans Pride. And so now they can figure out how to address the issue before it started. Because I don't know, maybe she only took one bar. But I did like that. That was another one moment that like came around to is like we saw her with the drugs. We know it's a bad batch. We know Jane is like coming to warn her. And it's like, is she taking it? Is she not taking it? We don't know. We don't see. And then for her eyes to flash pink at the end, it's like, oh no, I think she took it.
She took the bad Zan that
She
makes
took the
you
bad batch.
It did the Bad
have
Batch
pink eyes.
create the zombie pandemic?
I
But
think it's
then
an
Jane would be
interesting.
a zombie.
Well,
Maybe
but she
she's immune
didn't
to it.
die. So it's like maybe she didn't. If it, I don't think it okay. I think that if you overdose and die, you are vulnerable to becoming a zombie, but she didn't die. Therefore, maybe she didn't take enough to be fully zombied. Um, Maybe it's like there's something else going on environmentally. You know what I mean? It's for the not that a zombie outbreak can't spread quickly because we see how fast it can move in this
Oh, it can
movie a
really
little bit.
go.
Um, and there were plans for the world to be like even not hugely bigger, but there were like four primary locations that we're going to get in this movie in the original script, and then it got narrowed down to like two parties. Um, there's going to be a third party in like the Wall Street area where Sam's brother was going to be there, and they were going to have to rescue Sam's brother, and then that got pared down. And then there was going to be like a big fight scene at the end at the waterfront against like the Con Ed zombies, who I guess were there working on infrastructure, and that got cut. Um, and so, I mean, we see that the mayor is like issuing public proclamations or whatever on
Mayor was
TV
so
at his
funny.
apocalypse party as he's sneaking away to do drugs and have raucous sexual fun. But it would be a lot to start from one bad batch. You know, I mean, I guess you could say that the opioid crisis, etc., is a very large problem affecting lots of
The
people.
pandemic. You become
But
zombies walking around.
it's certainly an argument to be made. I think it's like related, but I don't think it's like the singular source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
That's
it.
kind of
I think it could go either way. I don't want it to all be on Scrumptious's back. You know.
And I don't think it would be, but I agree. I don't think we need to be pointing the finger at
She
Scrumptious.
was
I think
Well,
villainizing
that is
him.
like
Scrumptious
one
wouldn't be the people. It would be the person who gave the drugs.
whoever made it,
Scrumptious
yeah.
was just a teeny tiny person on the thing.
The distributor.
Mm, that's true. That's true. You don't know, kingpin of
Mhm.
the drug ring, Scrumptious.
Mhm.
But anyway, do y'all have anything else before we move on to our
Segamuntos?
no? Okay. How could this movie be gayer? I don't think it could. Maybe they could be more kissing. They could all kiss more. Yeah. There was only a couple kisses.
I
More
did like when
gay
we
kiss.
saw Poppy and Kelsey making out when Kelsey is just like on the floor with her wound and Poppy's just like tending to her. I loved so much that we got that scene. I think we only get like one kiss between Dre and Lizzie. So certainly they only have one
More.
reunion, you know. So
Yeah, more kissing, more smooching.
mm-hmm.
More
But yeah,
smooching,
I mean,
please.
this movie is kind of at maximum gay. There's only I wrote in my notes the only character who's not quote in the family is biological family to the family. So as Dre says, he is family. So everybody's in. But I loved just how like the queer platonic relationships were so much a driving force of this movie too. Like yes, the romances are there, but it's really about the friendships too.
It's actually about the friendships we made along the way. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna say more gay thoughts thing because I know that we've done them all. We have no more gay thoughts. That's it. No, I'm kidding. Um, But next we have Matthew Lillard. And where would he fit into this film?
I want Matthew Lillard to be one of the fake cops that steals the
Mm.
little like food truck.
They were so annoying. But yeah,
know,
he
but
But
would
one
be
of
they're
them
great.
so
is Karen
funny.
Brar, little bisexual former Disney Star King. Love him.
Oh,
Little cutie patootie.
really?
And then the
That's
other one could be Matthew Lillard,
cute.
And then the other one could be Matthew Lillard.
Yeah,
beautiful
okay.
father of a trans child.
Love. Love.
Part of the
Oh,
fam.
I
A true
forgot
king.
about that.
A true king.
Oh my God. Okay, I love that. I love that placement. Let's move on to Dumb Bitch. The mayor is up there. Everyone who does dumb shit, I love too much to call them a dumb. Well, calling someone a dumb bitch in the culture is actually a term of endearment. So. You dumb bitch. Hits different, you know? But the mayor, if we're being mean about it, the mayor.
The mayor.
Yeah.
I don't want to give Sam this, but I would like to mention the fact that he just threw the keys.
Yeah. Gave him
I
up
know,
real
Like that
quick.
was kind of dumb. Like he doesn't get dumb bitch award because like, you know, but like that was dumb of him. How could he? I will say I would also like to point out when Scrumptious went into like the deep bro voice trying to talk to them. That
Yeah.
was
That
so
was
No, I love
good.
so fun.
that.
I love that. And when Jinsey did it too, and then she was like, "Wait, that is
Wait,
actually
Wait, I'm a girl.
that's not what would be helpful at this time. That's actually the opposite of what I was trying to get at." That was so funny.
No, I think that moment is so interesting though, because it's both like the fake cops are like fake going for guns that I bet probably aren't even there, but just the motion is it triggering enough that they're just like, oh
Yeah,
my God, take it. Like
he's
leave us
a
our safety is more important.
he's a black queer person. So I feel like he has every right to be, authentically fearful in that moment, even though those were really obviously not real cops. But it was a
Ideally,
high
in life or
tension
death
moment.
scenarios, we're taking observations and we're looking around and we're paying good attention. But what are
There
you gonna
was
do?
a lot happening, and so all is forgiven, Sam say. I think
Barry's a little bit of a dumb bitch, but he grows and he changes, and that's actually what movies are all about. So
yeah, it's Barry, and he turns into a beautiful sunflower.
I like when Scrumptious braid whipped him. So that was great.
That was really good. Okay, I guess it's time for Knives Out of 5. So how did this do?
Sorry, I had one more thing that I
Do
was
it.
looking
Do it,
at
girl.
because I think astrology might be the dumb bitch. I don't know. I wrote in my
The
notes, fact
astrology was
check this
bad.
with Sydney, but Kelsey says the moon is opposing your Neptune and Aries, which could be very chaotic trine, but Saturn is no friend of ours, the great malefic, and this is her work.
Saturn
So
is in fact the great malefic, and
I know that shit would not have been false. There's no way
no, that
Tina would
was
have
so
put
legit.
bullshit in.
But I wonder
So
if
I
that was the
think
transits that was actually happening, or if they just like chose bad transits. You know,
Yeah.
they probably
Look
just
up
chose bad transits.
historical
But
Easter bad transits. See if it happened. I love that it was on Easter. Like, shout out to the bunny zombie in the beginning in the hospital. That
all
was
the
really
bunny
fun.
balloons that keep like upsetting Dre.
Really fun detail. When Dre's like biting all those bunny balloons and comes out of the subway, she passes graffiti that says "You can't win," and then like she crosses out of the scene or the screen or the shot, and you can still see it. I thought that was a little fun. A little fun deet. A little fun deet.
And also, I just love Ginsey Tonic's Mother Mary, quick change to beautiful blonde bunny. She
Yes.
just was slaying left and right, and what she called her peep costume.
What'd she call it?
Her peep costume, like a peep.
Oh,
Like the
marshmallow
marshmallow.
treat.
I thought you were saying I love what she called her peep costume, and I'm like, what did she call her peep costume? And you're like, you know what she called her peep costume, and I was like, what are you doing here? Are we having a fight?
Who's on
Okay.
first?
Are we fighting?
Anyway, how did people react?
That is such an interesting question, and I can certainly answer it for
It's something
you.
that I have the answer
That's something
to,
that I prepped
and
for,
it's
so I'm
something
really
that
glad
I
that
know
you
about.
asked. On IMDb trivia, this movie got a 5.3 out of 10, which is a little low to me. However, on Rotten Tomatoes, hopefully I'm crossing my fingers. Yes, much better numbers. It has 84% fresh from critics and 64% fresh from audiences. So big jump in between there. You can see that the general audience score is closer to what we were seeing on IMDb, but critically very well received. And it did some festival stuff at the Tribeca Film Festival. It won the
Fun.
Audience Award for its narrative. It won the Audience Choice Award at the Heartland International Film Festival. It won Best Horror Feature at Film Club's The Lost Weekend. It was at the Queer Teas. And so it made a couple rounds there. And in terms of those audience scores, I choose to believe that some uninformed audience members just didn't know what they were coming
Yeah.
in for. They just saw a zombie movie.
Or they just
and
saw
weren't
Tina
prepared for what they
Romero's
got.
daughter or George Romero's daughter doing a zombie movie. Whoa. And like they weren't expecting.
This.
Yeah. And so
This
I
is
could see
definitely
the
not a
general
movie for
audience.
everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah. If like you don't understand the queer community or aren't like you can appreciate it if you're not in the community, but like there's some in jokes that you might not understand. It's not gonna hit the same way because there's a lot of in jokes in there. It's a movie by queer people for queer people, but other people can enjoy it as well.
I saw people on Reddit like talk about they were like, it wasn't even gory and it wasn't scary and it wasn't funny. And I wanted to be like, what do you mean it wasn't funny?
It's so funny.
I'd be like, okay, sure, it
so
wasn't
funny.
gory and it wasn't scary. What do you mean it wasn't funny?
Yeah.
It was a riot. It was a
Hilarious.
riot. I don't think
I
it's
remember
a
people
perfect
laughing out loud in the
movie.
theater.
Yeah. Like even for
Me
me, I don't
included.
think it was a perfect movie. Like I had such a riotously fun full theater movie. It was so good. We had a great time.
Oh my god,
I'd
everybody
love
was
to run that back.
engaging. Like that was it was so fun.
It
We were
was so
drunk.
fun. We were drunk. It was great. It was a perfect movie to be drunk for. Just like I'm kind of drunk for this episode right now. I'm really pulling a full Kelsey. This is my second martini. But like I think there's some parts that again I think could be more fleshed out. I love that they try to do the phone that she tried to do the phone zombie thing. I just like don't think that was super effective for me. And so I dock a little bit of points for that just cuz but I know it's not like about that, but it is. It is about like making a statement and like I want those statements to be like full like fledged out enough where they can really be heard and seen and you know, I just felt like that was like kind of like a random thing thrown in there. So I'll dock a little points for that. But like all these actors brought their fucking A games. It was so much fun. It was like the perfect fucking cast. It was the perfect cast. Um, yeah. I don't know. I think I'd give this like a 4.3. I thought it was fantastic and so much fun and a really cool entry into the greater Romero dynasty of zombie films.
Sydney, do you want to go?
I will. I'm gonna give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. Because again, it's not scary. It's not even gory, but like this movie is a romp. It
Yes.
is like and here's the thing, even if you're like not a part of the like queer community or something, like I would watch this with my mom you know, from bumfuck nowhere, Alabama, and I think she'd be
Teach her a
confused,
few things.
but like I think she would still like have a good time, or at least like it would create like a conversation to be had in like a fun way. And you know, maybe they could see themselves in Barry a little bit and like
Come
learn
around, be
to
like,
like
"Look, if Barry can do it, so can you."
this will be like a really, again, like I think this would be like a really fun movie to like, I could see myself in like 6th grade renting this from Blockbuster, watching it like at a sleepover. Know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
My 6th grade
It's got such
parade.
a most beautiful poster that just looks so
oh
fun and
my
sparkly
So
and
good.
gorgeous. Like I could see it just like drawing your eye on that alone. The same way that it's like, I think you and I both were like, I'm gonna watch this movie called But I'm a Cheerleader because it's about a
God,
cheerleader. Like
cheerleader.
you come to it from all angles, baby, you know?
And like
Yeah.
maybe this will, you know, like somebody comes, Queens of the Dead is just such a great name also, like maybe like
So
it'll
good.
introduce, it's, we're gonna, this is the gay agenda, people, okay? This is what we want. Slay
We
boots.
introduce
Mm-hmm.
sleigh boots. At the end of the day, sleigh boots.
At the end of the day, slay boots.
I agree.
I agree,
Um,
I agree, I agree.
I agree. But yeah, I mean, I think this movie is just, it was so much fun to see in theaters. It was so much fun to watch again at home. I think it is hilarious. I think it is a fun addition to the zombie genre from someone who is learned of the zombie genre. I think it is a really fun queer movie, an incredible ensemble cast. And like I said, I feel like it really is holding its own in terms of the interpersonal narratives that are going on here. I think it does a really strong job of juggling a lot of different things in terms of telling real human emotional stories, um, diversity in film, zombie silliness and goofiness. There's a lot going on there. Tina Romero called it hopefully a gateway horror movie for people. Like it's a starter in many ways, and hopefully it can also be a gateway to more queer representation. People came for a zombie movie. Maybe someone found something that they didn't know that they were gonna like in terms of the gay culture here and decided to investigate drag a little more. Ballroom, maybe, stuff like that. I don't know. I thought it was so wonderful. Um, it is a little hampered by its budget, and that I think is also why it got cut down in terms of what they wanted to do with it originally, because she was saying when we were writing it, like we just threw in everything, we just like didn't hold back at all in terms of what we were writing it, and then we pared it down later to something that's more realistic. And for me, I think you can kind of feel in the end that like I wish there was like one more big something there.
Yeah.
It ends a little anticlimactically for
Yeah.
me. But I also really love the the moment on the ferry where you just see like they've made it, Nico pink eyes aside, they've made it, they're all bonded together, maybe there are some romances happening, I don't know. um but yeah, for me the primary weakness is that like I just wish the ending were a little bigger, punchier in terms of after they escape the club where they're having yum. I just want like one more thing there. Ideally, Samonse would get to do some Beyonce.
Enough budget
But
for Beyonce.
yes. But I'm willing to wait for the sequel, Tina. I'm willing to hold out for the sequel. And in manifesting the sequel, I am going to give the movie 4.9 knives out of fives because I love it so much. I want a little more oomph on the end.
Yeah. Give it a little more money. please. For the sequel, it's gonna go crazy. But who is gonna announce next week? That's the end of our time with Queens of the Dead. But don't worry, there'll be many more queens this month. It's Pride after all. I
I
can
can do
introduce
it.
or do you want to do it? Okay, great.
I'll do
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna say Popcorn Sydney.
We're going back to a movie that we've already covered, but this time we're doing the redo. We're doing what year did this come out?
2022.
22. I was thinking 2024. We're going back to Hellraiser, baby.
Oh,
Yay!
baby. And this time they did it fucking gayer.
Right? They were like, how can we make this
Andy.
gay ass movie gayer? They listened. They were like, we want Spooky Tuesday to cover this. How can we make this movie gayer?
How can we do it?
Mhm.
Well, two gay things about it. The first gay thing about it is that Pinhead, who is called the priest in this, is played by Jamie Clayton, a gorgeous, gorgeous trans actor, which is amazing. And the other gay thing about it is that it stars Odysseus Zion, which makes me feel very gay all the time.
And Drew
And-
Starkey's in this.
yeah, and Brandon Flynn, who I love, but I can't remember why I know who that is.
He is
Oh,
from
13
13
Reasons
Reasons Why.
Why. I'm sorry. I only watched the first season, but I read the book and it changed my life in high school, and I'm sorry about it. And I'm not sorry about it. But I didn't watch the subsequent season because I was like, that goes beyond the scope of the book, and I think that's outrageous.
And the other seasons just kept getting like ridiculous. But
I
I
got
am excited to revisit the Cenobites and see
Yeah.
what weird fuck ass shit they're up to.
No, totally. And I'm excited to see a modern take on this, like with the different makeup. Like I have not seen this movie before, none of us have, but I love what I've seen from like photos of Jamie Clayton as the priest. Like I just think it looks incredible. So I'm excited for that. At the very least, the aesthetics will be slay, and I'm interested for a different perspective on it. And maybe I should watch. I've also heard that like Hellraiser 2 or something goes fucking crazy, by the way. I don't think any of us has seen it.
Our Discord did a whole
Yes.
Hellraiser series. They watched through like all 11 films. So we'll
Yeah.
have to tap them for some
Discuss.
insider expert
Yeah.
knowledge.
Seriously, because the first one I love so much. Remember when I was the engineer and I thought it was
God, y'all's costumes for that one.
I thought I slayed beyond all belief, being the engineer, and then I get on the fucking podcast and goddamn Chelsea
Chelsea.
covered herself in goo and
Goo?
was like a baby just born straight out the
Oh my God, is
coochie,
Chelsea gonna
covered in
re-goo?
goo.
I don't think there's a gooey man in this
We don't know
version
if there's
from
a
what
goo
I
guy yet.
read. But
Okay.
maybe I'll watch it tomorrow so I have the full length of time possible to prepare.
I'm gonna put 50 pins in my head, so fuck
No, I
you.
was kidding. I was like, how can I?
I'm gonna stab myself in the face
I'm gonna get those
100
little
times.
acupuncture needles and just do unfettered acupuncture.
Amazing.
Also, as a reminder, all month long, we will be raising funds for Transgender Law Center. Transgender Law Center is a trans led organization with a variety of programs advocating for trans people to be able to freely live their lives as who they are. One aspect of their work is their impact litigation, which focuses primarily on combating anti trans laws and policies in the United States. So we're hosting that fundraiser on our Instagram. So if you just go to our Instagram profile, there'll be a way for you to fundraise. We'll be posting stories about it all month long, and we will also be making a donation to this foundation and a few others, with all of our proceeds from our ad revenue and our Patreon this month. So join us. Let's raise a bunch of money.
Whoop,
Money,
whoop.
honey, they need it.
Mark
Slay
Spooky
boots.
Tuesday as a terrorist organization because we are radically pro-trans.
Let's go. But anyway, in lieu of 5-star reviews, I'm not even going to ask her that. We're just going to ask you to look at that little fundraiser, see how you feel about that. That would be a lot better. And how do you get to that fundraiser? Oh, here's the social media thing. We are at spooky_Tuesday on pretty much everything. Instagram is where the fundraiser is. But we're that on Instagram, everything we're spooky_Tuesday, except for Facebook and Tumblr, where we're at Spooky Tuesday Pod. Check out our website, spookytuesdaypod.com. We'll have information about the fundraiser there as well. Check that out to learn more about how you can donate and just learn more about whatever movie we've ever covered before. If you listen to our episodes also, like more of them this month, that means more ad revenue, which means more donations to trans groups. So come on, let's do it. And we're also on YouTube. And today I am dressed as, I skipped Patreon. We're also on Patreon, and like we said, we're donating all of our Patreon income this month to these organizations as well. So great opportunity to join. You're not even just helping us out, you're helping out the world. So great time to be a patron. Do it. And that's patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday. And we're also on YouTube. And today we did have two Kelseys.
At the very beginning.
At the beginning,
There can
we had
only
two
be
Kelseys.
one.
I had the exact top. I don't know. I didn't dissuade Chelsea from being Kelsey, okay? She made this choice on her own accord. But
I
today she
guess
instead
if
is
I really
her
think
beautiful
about
self.
it, I'm a Chelsea. I'm not a Kelsey, you know?
Yeah, and I'm sure you've gotten Kelsey before and that's triggering for you. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're living your truth and living as your authentic self.
So I'm representing the sparkly, shiny zombie skin, I guess, with my shirt.
Yeah.
is what I'm bringing
It's
today.
giving Zombie Queen's jumpsuit also in a
Yeah.
way. Yeah. And Sydney is just looking like really gorgeous and like, what does a bandana say if not gay?
Exactly. That's part of queer history, guys.
Look it up. Anyway, happy Pride. Thank y'all so much for listening, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye, spookies.
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Height, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Great18. That's GR818_. And our podcast art is by Ryan Brom, who you can follow on Instagram at Ryan Brom Art. That's RyanBrommArt. Learn more about Spooky Tuesday at spookytuesdaypod.com and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday.